Hello, good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a good evening so far. My name is Anika, and I am live from Milan today. I'm one of the teachers in Mayes Meravigli. And if you have just joined us, please let us know your name. Just say hello, and tell us where you're from and how you're doing. I hope you guys had a good Easter weekend. It was a really long weekend. So I can see two of you guys already joining in. Oh, all right. So my colleague Michelle has just joined us.
Hello, everyone. How are you, Anika?
Good, thanks. So I was just telling everybody to introduce themselves and just say hi. Did you have a good weekend, Michelle?
I had a weekend as good as possible, given the circumstances.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And how about you, Anika? How was your weekend?
Well, it was as usual. It wasn't any different, even though it was Easter. So I had a very good rest and some reading.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you cook anything?
Yeah, I actually cooked some rice.
Of course,
Just a
of
little,
course.
like a few little things I have. Yeah. But today is kind of a special day for me because it's I'm originally from Bangladesh, so today is a Bangladeshi New Year. So even though according
Right.
to the English calendar it's 2020, but for us it's 1427 if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
So Happy New Year, you guys.
Happy New Year. Today is also the Sri Lankan New Year or the Sinhalese
No way,
New Year.
really.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. It's known as Alut Avuruda, and yep,
Okay.
and they celebrate, and not just by Sinhalese, but a lot of Sri Lankan Tamils as well.
Okay, that's nice. So we shared the same New Year, I guess.
Fantastic. We share
Um,
a lot of things.
yeah, we do. That's true. The culture is quite similar. So I haven't introduced myself yet. So Michelle, you want to go first?
Sure. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our focus activity 8 to 10. If you've been here before, you might have seen me. My name is Michelle, and I am a teacher in Milano Meravigli with Anika. I've been teaching there for about 2 years now, almost 2 years. Um, what else? And I've been living in Milan for 3 years. And
Oh,
we have some comments. Hi, Maria Chiara. And we have Giacomo, who's also from Milan. Fantastic.
okay. I might be receiving the comments late because I can't read them yet.
Okay.
But yeah, so I am from Bangladesh originally, and I used to live in Malaysia for a while before I moved to Italy. And I've been living in Italy for about 6 years now. Right. Okay, so welcome, guys. Nice to see you guys joining us. Okay, so today we are going to talk about outer space. Oh, hi, Valentina, Stefania, and Luigi from Genoa says I'm very happy to spend my time in the house. So last weekend was wonderful. Reverse psychology. Okay.
Okay, yeah, we like that.
Well,
Reverse psychology it is. Last weekend was beautiful. Best weekend ever.
you got to do those things now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, So, outer space. So, it's an interesting topic, like space, especially if you guys like science fiction, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you into outer space, Michelle?
Um, no, not particularly. I do enjoy science fiction occasionally,
Mm-mm.
but it's not something
Yeah.
that I watch regularly.
Okay. Yeah, I think I used to be more of a science fiction fan when I was younger than now. But then
Same.
recently I picked up a book called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You may have heard
Love.
the stories in the radio in the UK, I guess.
Uh-huh. Also, I've read the book, The Hitchhikers. It's a classic. I love the book. It's a
Yeah,
series.
it is, and it's really funny. The way it's written is the things are quite funny, the dialogues and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I've never actually heard it on the radio. Like it's originally supposed to, it was originally a radio comedy and it was really old, like in the 70s. And it was later adapted to
Oh,
books
was
and
it?
movies and novels
Hmm.
and a TV series as well. I've read the books
Hmm.
when I was younger and I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed them.
Yeah, those are funny. Okay, so hi Aria. Happy to see you too. And so this is the plan for today. First, we're going to talk about space,
Mm-hmm.
outer space, and we're going to talk about phrases for guessing, and pros and cons. So, guess might be a word that some of you may not be familiar with. So, guess is when you don't know something and you think what it could be. Okay, so if I don't know something, so I guess this is gonna happen. I guess it will be sunny tomorrow. And what are pros and cons, Michelle? Like three synonyms.
So pros and cons are the benefits and the drawbacks, or the advantages and disadvantages of any given situation. So pros
Mm-hmm.
are the advantages and cons are the disadvantages. Um, Very often you'll hear this, let's make a list of pros and cons. So let's make a list of the advantages and disadvantages of any situation.
Yeah, the list. I always do that. So useful. Okay,
Absolutely.
so we're gonna move on to a space quiz. So let's see what you guys already know. So if you know the answer or if you can guess the answer, please write the number and the letter you think is right.
Hmm.
Okay. So the first question goes, number one, how many years old is the Earth? Is it A, 46 billion years, or B, 4.6 billion years, or C, 460 million years?
Ooh,
Okay. Oh, so we have a lot of viewers today. 8 viewers. Tell us what you think.
fantastic.
Oh, those are like, yeah, that's a really hard guess. I would say personally it would be in the billions
Hmm. Yeah, that
rather
seems
than millions.
correct.
Really old. Yeah. Oh, Vincenzo says C. He thinks it's 460 million.
Okay. What do you guys
Do you
think?
think that's correct, Michelle?
I don't know. Like we said, I think it might be in the billions because I think the old
Mm-hmm.
is older than 460 million.
Mm-hmm.
Stefania
Yeah.
also says C. Giacomo says C. Um,
Yeah.
Maria Chiara says B.
Uh-huh.
4.6 billion. And Luigi says
Okay,
B.
so
Aria says B.
hmm.
Okay, Anika, what is the answer?
The answer is B, 4.6 billion. Well done, guys. Who has guessed them
Fantastic.
correctly.
Yep. So,
That makes sense. Something in between.
sorry.
So it's something in between, not as little as 460 million and not as much as 46 billion, but in between. So in between is something in the middle, not too much, not too less. And number two. So it says, who was the first man on the moon? Louis Armstrong, Lance Armstrong, or C. Neil Armstrong? I used to sometimes confuse two of these names. One of them is a jazz musician, and the other is the real man on the moon.
Yeah, one is a jazz musician, one is
Oh,
a
Stefania says
cyclist.
Neil Armstrong.
Antonella says B.
Oh.
Elena says A. Louis Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
Vincenzo says C. Maria Chiara says C.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Giacomo says
Interesting. I think some of
A.
some of you guys have similar kind of confusion as me. Because
Right.
Louis Armstrong is a musician.
Yep. Louis Armstrong is a really famous musician. He's a jazz musician from America. And he
Hmm.
was famous for playing the
Hmm.
trumpet. So the trumpet is the instrument that you blow on. And he was
Yeah.
really, really famous for that. And he had some great music. Is there any songs that you're particularly fond of?
Me, not really. I just know the name of the guy, but I don't really listen to jazz music that much.
So he has a
Um,
really famous music, a really famous song
mhm.
called "What a
Uh-huh.
Wonderful World," and I'm sure
Oh, right.
everyone's
Oh, is
heard
it
it.
him? Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So maybe I
fantastic.
know some of his songs, but I don't know it's him.
Exactly, exactly. We all probably
So
know.
let's reveal the answer. It is Neil Armstrong. Okay, good job, guys. So I like Vincenzo's answer. Louis was a musician, Lance is a cyclist. Great. Okay, so Aria says Louis is the jazz king. Cool.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely. Um, so, do you know much about Lance Armstrong?
I don't actually, to be honest. I just knew Neil Armstrong better than the other two here. Did you know much about Lance Armstrong, Michelle?
I don't know much about him, but I remember a few years ago there was a scandal because he is
Mm-hmm.
an American, professional American cyclist. And he won the Tour de France about 7 times. But then he was
Mm-hmm.
disqualified for doping. So
Oh,
doping
really?
is when you take drugs. So he was disqualified on
Mm.
the basis of taking drugs. And he was also very famous because he had a fatal cancer. And
Mm.
and if you remember, there were these colorful bands that everyone was wearing, which said "Live Strong,"
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was
Yes.
in support of his foundation, which he founded after he recovered from cancer to support other cancer survivors.
Oh, I did not know that. That's interesting. Okay, so here goes the third one. How long does the moon take to travel around the Earth? Is it 27.3 hours, 27.3 days, or 27.3? I think that's a little easier compared to the others
Yeah.
because we know it takes about a month for the
Mm-hmm.
moon to go around the Earth. So, Antonella has already answered. Number three is B. Okay, that makes so much sense because 27.3 days is around a month.
Yep.
That's
And
nearly a month. So
everyone.
let's reveal the answer. Great. Okay. So you guys are right. 27.3 days. Great job. Okay. All right. So you guys are doing well. Number
Mm,
four. Oops. We have a little bit of problem there. I'm going to reshare it.
no worries. Sorry for the technical issue, guys. As you know, everyone's using StreamYard and YouTube and Zoom. So these services are a bit slow because of the traffic.
Yeah. Okay. These days, I find a lot of people into quiz, some internet quiz or something. Like some people are playing these things with their friends and family.
Right, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a way to pass the time.
Yeah. Also, you learn something. Yes. Okay. So number 4, what is a black hole? Is it A, a dark spot on the sun, a hole on the ozone layer, or a collapsed star? Okay. All right, so some good people are saying for C, the collapsed star. Okay, so let's reveal the answer, and you guys are right. It is a collapsed star. I used to be really fascinated by when I first found out when I was little. Like it's
Yeah,
so it's something in space that attracts everything, sucks
right.
everything in.
And doesn't let anything escape, not even light.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, as a kid, I used to be fascinated. I think kids are fascinated by the study of outer space.
Definitely, as a kid, I was far more
Okay.
fascinated. Um, but if you remember,
Yeah.
in recent times, they managed to get a picture of a black hole. I think last year,
Oh,
last
yeah, it's
April.
true.
Yeah, they managed
Yeah,
to take a picture of
very
a black
recently.
hole with a NASA telescope,
Yeah.
and that was really cool.
Hmm. Yeah. It looked a little blurry, I remember.
Yeah,
But
it
then
was just
that was supposed to
blurry.
be, yeah. Okay. Cool. So people are answering the next one. How many planets are
Brilliant.
there in our system? So a lot of people are saying 8 or 9. Yes, I think we learned something as a kid and then later on they changed it, right? Something about
Yeah,
Pluto?
yeah. I never know. Is
Pluto
Pluto
used to
a
be a
planet
planet.
or not?
It's a moon. It's not a planet.
It's
It's a
not a
moon
planet
of,
anymore.
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know moon of which planet it is. Jupiter,
Right.
Saturn, I don't know. If you guys know, tell us. Okay, so you guys are saying 8. Most of you are saying 8. Stefania is saying 9. Valentina is saying 9. Okay, let's reveal the answer. And the correct answer is 8. B8. 8 planets. So Pluto is not a planet. Okay.
Okay, but okay. I
So we're
remember
going
two
to
years,
move on to some interesting. 2 years
two
ago,
years
yeah.
ago, if you remember, there was a planet X that was discovered.
Uh-huh.
Remember that?
Oh,
It's
really?
yep, and it's supposed to be 10 times
Um,
the mass
mhm.
of Earth and 5,000 times the mass of Pluto. So could be 9 as well. We
Oh,
don't know.
goodness. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. This information may not be like the ultimate information. Things keep changing all the time.
Yeah,
Oh, so these are
Luigi.
8 planets and another one where only ah. only where his boyfriend lives.
Oh.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay,
Wow.
fantastic work, guys.
Okay, number 5 is B. Remember when I was at school. Okay, so you learned that it was 8 planets. So Antonella, you must be really young. Because when I was at school, I learned that it was 9, and then later on they changed it. So depending on when you went to school, scientific facts also change sometimes with new
Right, of
discoveries.
course.
All right, so we can move on to some questions here we're gonna discuss. So again, if you guys wanna join in and answer these questions, write the numbers and type up your own answers. Okay, so the first question is, what do you think we can learn from outer from space exploration. Yeah, so it's really far from us, but probably there are things to learn, or probably you might think there isn't. So, what do you think, Michelle? Do you think we can learn from space exploration?
Definitely. There's always the idea of discovering extra terrestrial life. So I think that's exciting.
Yeah,
And discovering new
yeah.
minerals, like for example, last year we just took a picture of a black hole. Our planet is
Mm,
very small in the grand scheme of things,
mm,
and learning how things function outside the planet can be very helpful, especially since we're
yeah,
running out of space and food on the planet itself.
yeah. I think it also like makes us not really give us answers to really big questions, but makes us really think about so many things. I'm happy we're doing this topic today because I have been reading these days this
Right.
book. Have you ever read? I'm looking. Have you ever read this book, A Brief History of Time?
No, I haven't.
So this guy is an astrophysicist, Stephen Hawking, and he passed away recently. And this book is like really nicely written. It's very scientific, but written in easy language for common people to understand. Oh, we have many comments here. Great.
Hmm.
So Vincenzo says we can learn how to upgrade our technology. Yeah, probably maybe with the use of satellites, um, and probably we can also study environment through space. Some changes going on through space. So Ariana says, I'm really passionate about astronomy. Oh, great. I think it's a kind of exploration of today. We travel to the unknown with tools that are certainly not enough. Yeah, that's true. We're always going to keep discovering. So Ariana continues and says, as well as our units of measurement, everything is a new discovery, and there are so many things to learn out there. Units of measurements. I wonder what you mean by that. So I thought there are pretty standard units like meters and kilograms. Do you mean there are other new units of measurement, like what, for time or something? Okay, right. So Ariane, sorry, Michelle, do you want to take the next comment?
Sure, absolutely. Um, I love
Elena,
this argument.
other one.
Right, Luigi says, I think we can learn how the Earth will be in the future, and I hope we could discover some other forms of life.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Uh, yeah, new species is exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. We never know what we might discover. So Elena here also says, I don't know what we can learn from space exploration. Well,
Mm-hmm.
basically, I think mostly about science and things. Well, in the book that I was reading about how in the past people used to think the Earth was flat, uh, but then there are so many signs of like the eclipse is round, so people realize the Earth is round,
Right.
about the magnetic field and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Ariana also says I can teach. It can teach us a lot about our meters of measurements, gravity, time. There are so many answers about our existence and many beyond our reach for now. Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. It gives us an idea of time, the origin of the universe, and probably the future of the universe. Um, so all right, so Mary here says we could discover unknown forms of life, and I think we can learn how the universe works. Right. Okay, so maybe we can move on to the next question. Do you think school children should learn about the universe we live in? Why or why not? So,
Just before that,
what do you
just
guys think?
Aria's question statement where she says meters of measurement. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Maybe you mean metrics of measurement, because a meter is a unit of measurement, right? It's about length.
Hmm.
Um, let us know what do you mean, okay?
Hmm.
Because we
How
could
about it could be
say,
units of,
yeah, or metrics of measurement. You could say that, but we wouldn't say meters.
yeah, that's true. Okay.
Okay, question two. Sorry, Anika.
Yeah. Okay, so the question two says, do you think school children should learn about the universe we live in? Why or why not? So let us know, you guys. Um, I definitely am in favor of this. I think school children should learn about it, and especially children have a lot of questions, really interesting questions.
Anika, we can't hear you anymore. Your mic is unconnected. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I don't know why I went on mute automatically. The connection went bad.
So Ariana says, yesterday I saw documentaries on the SETI project that looks for extraterrestrial audio signals. Ooh, that's very interesting. What did they find?
Wow.
Luigi says, if I could decide about children's education, I would like them to study less religion and more astronomy. Okay. Stefania says, I think children should learn it because it's important to know that the Earth is only a small planet in the universe. Absolutely, Stefania. It definitely gives you perspective. Aria
Yeah.
says, yes, if we study geography, it makes sense to teach children where we are located in space. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. So, what do you think about the third question? How would our lives be different if we still believed the Earth was at the center of the universe, like they used to at the beginning?
What do you think?
So, I think people would believe that we are really superior beings, like we're the center of the universe. It would be a kind of arrogant kind of attitude, probably.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
knowing that we're not at the center, and maybe there are other beings around, who knows, could make us think like, okay, we're just a little piece of the puzzle, like a
Yeah,
drop of water in the
absolutely.
ocean.
Okay, so the idea that the Earth is the center of the universe is in
Mm-mm.
astronomy it's called the geocentric model.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, which they don't believe in anymore. So I think it was Galileo, wasn't it, who broke the idea of this concept
I believe so.
and made
I'm
people.
not sure though.
Yeah. Okay. So we have some comments coming in. Um, okay, I'm getting the comments a bit late, I guess. So not sure where we stopped before. So I'm just gonna start with Luigi here. Says, if I could decide, okay, we have read this. So Stefania says, I think that school children should learn it because it's important to know that the Earth is only a small planet in the universe. I absolutely agree with you.
Hmm.
Aria says, Yes, if we study geography, it makes sense to teach children where we're located in space. I'm sorry, I think I'm repeating some comments
Yeah.
because I'm getting them really late, so maybe Michelle can see them as they're coming.
Sure, of course. To them, Elena says, I think children should learn all the planets of the universe. Aria says, we would travel much less and we would be afraid of falling into the void. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Stefania says, if we still believed that the Earth was at the center of the universe, maybe our lives would be like in the Middle Ages. Yeah, that's true because it would mean we never invented the telescope,
Uh-huh.
and we never went to space because when you're in space, you can see that the Earth is not the center of the universe.
Yeah. I was just
Luigi,
laughing at Luigi's comment.
you are a
Yeah.
funny man, Luigi.
So yeah, I think it puts a little bit of arrogance in us if we think that we're the only beings or the only center of the universe and so on. Okay. So yeah, that's something interesting. I was reading in that book that I just mentioned that there is no center because the universe is infinite. So every point can be considered a center.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Deep.
And it is expanding on top of that. So it's like a concept that's really mind blowing. Like
But
if something is infinite and it's expanding, there are no edges to it. So
but
like,
here's the question: if something is constantly expanding, will it snap
uh-huh.
one day and come back?
Actually, there are two theories. One
Right.
theory, I mean, we don't, even science doesn't know for sure. One theory is that it's going to snap back, like once
Right.
it has expanded to the max. And then the other theory is like it can either snap back or it can like keep on expanding forever. There's like a graph that I studied, I remember, like during the A levels, and
Right.
so we don't know yet.
Okay. Good to
What
know.
a mystery! What a mystery to the universe.
Mm.
Um, so I think that's where religion comes in to answer some and answer unanswered questions. So that's the
Definitely.
only way for us. Yeah. And then we have the next question. So number 4 says, if it were possible, would you travel into space? Where would you go and why? Okay, so what do you guys think? What about you, Michelle? Where would you go if you could go anywhere?
I don't want to go to space.
Why not?
Unpopular opinion, because I'm afraid of heights, and I think the view from outer space will be really dizzy. I feel really dizzy.
Hmm.
Also,
Well, come to think of it, there is no height in space. It's just space, no height there.
right, exactly. No, no. There are lots of people like um, last year I read
Hmm.
that people
Yeah.
were building a rocket to go into space, but
Hmm.
for vacation purposes.
Hmm.
Right, so it was still
Really? Like
ready in a
space
few.
tourism.
Exactly. So in a couple of decades,
Hmm.
this would lift off. But my question is,
Hmm.
it's amazing to go to space and to be able to see all of
Hmm.
that. But what would you do there?
Good question. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe just for, I mean, we would be done in a second, like just have a good view of the Earth from space, is what I
Right.
would do. And probably collect some rocks or something. Just have a good
But
look
you
around.
but
And
you
that's it.
you have to sit in a rocket and be shot into space.
Yeah.
The
I know,
logistics
right? It's, yeah,
are concerning.
true. and I think it can be risky depending on like speaking from all the space disasters in the past.
Yep, exactly.
So
Like some
could be
people don't want
really
to.
scary.
Yep, some people don't like flying because they're afraid of
Mm.
airplane crashes. But I believe, you
Hmm.
know, burning in a rocket is far more likely.
Oh gosh, that is scary. That is super scary. So we have different comments coming in here. Aria says no, never. Being out there, I think it gives an unbearable sense of loneliness. I think you're right. The other day I was watching this video, like I got this notification from the news. This guy who spent time in space were giving advice to people in quarantine, like
Right.
how to manage being on your own. So I think it's
Mhm.
really lonely there. Imagine if you can handle the quarantine here, imagine being there. Yeah. So Mary here also has, I think, something similar to say. Oops. Okay. So she says, no, I wouldn't like traveling into space because I'm too afraid to, too afraid not to manage to come back to the Earth. Okay. So when you have an adjective and the verb next to it, you don't use don't. You say afraid not to come back, afraid not to manage to come back. Yeah, absolutely. You're similar to us. Oh, Antonella says, oh yes, I traveled to a distant galaxy. You're really brave.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Stefania here says, if it were possible to travel into space and I were rich, oh, very good use of conditional. I
Hmm.
would be the first one to buy the ticket for the Enterprise. I would like to explore all the universe, explore the whole universe. It would be
Hmm.
amazing. So yeah, okay, another brave one over here, Stefania. So explore the whole universe. WHOLE. Aria says the space is too cold. So without the, yeah, you say space is too, our outer space is too cold and hostile. Well, you've got a point there. But then it depends on where in space. Like if it's in a planet close to the sun, it might be really burning, boiling hot. So,
Absolutely.
Aria also, yeah. Aria says, albeit fascinating. Albeit. Hmm. Are you using the really old-fashioned word of although?
Yep. It does seem like that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an appropriate use, but then albeit is a very old-fashioned word that we don't really hear around that much, I
Right.
guess,
It's not
in my
used.
experience.
It's not used in spoken English much, so colloquially you might not see it. What you will see it is in novels and formal letters, things like that.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So on the other hand, Elena says she wouldn't travel into space. She doesn't like closed spaces. Closed spaces. Interesting. Because outer space is really open because there's
Right.
nothing but just space.
And I think that's what makes it scary. At least for me, it makes me a bit uncomfortable. Is because it's just a
Hmm.
never-ending void of darkness.
Yeah. True. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move
Hmm.
on a bit. Here we have some questions, but we're gonna practice this using some special expressions here. We're gonna use guessing expressions. When you don't know or you aren't sure, use these phrases to show it. So here's a list of these expressions. So Michelle, do you wanna read them out loud for pronunciation?
Sure. Aliens. Do you believe alien life forms exist on other planets? Alright. Have you ever seen an alien?
Okay. So
What should I just read them and then we can discuss them?
Yeah, yeah, sure. And also we're gonna use these like these phrases or these
Mm-hmm.
expressions to discuss the questions.
Okay. What do you
So we
imagine? Sorry, please continue.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna first look at these phrases and we're gonna answer these questions. So I'd say, so when you're guessing something, you say, I'd say the temperature today is 25 degrees. I have no idea really. I'm just guessing. So I'd say I can use perhaps, maybe. It's difficult to say, but I'd guess. I'm not really sure, but I think. Might, could, and may. So we're going to use these expressions to talk about all these questions. So let's talk about number one. You guys, again, write the number and use some of these expressions to answer the questions. Do you believe alien life forms exist on other planets? So what about you, Michelle? Do you believe aliens exist?
Not really. I'm ambivalent about this because on the one
Okay.
hand, I do believe
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
that we are just one species on in an infinite universe. So the chances of some
Hmm.
another species is pretty high of another species existing. But at the
Hmm.
same time, we've never really seen any proof. So I don't know
Hmm.
for sure.
Right, right. Yeah. Right. It's difficult to say, right? Yeah. So I'm going to use the expression difficult to say, but I'd guess, my guess would be maybe there is something, but probably not what they show us in the movies, like, like big head and skinny body. I think it's a really different kind of creature. Like the universe is so big, probably there's something. So who knows? So Antonella here says, I'm not really sure, but I think so. So I agree with you, Antonella. Aria says, I'd say yes for probability theory. We cannot be the only living beings. Maybe we are the only humans, but not the only living ones. Hmm. Very nicely put in words, Aria. Well done. Good choice of words. Um, yeah, who knows? Um, So let's get to the and also good use of expressions here. I'd say I'm not really sure. So great. So have you ever seen an alien? Number two. Have you ever seen an alien, Michelle?
I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I'm sure that doesn't surprise anyone.
Right. Me neither. And I doubt anybody has. I remember watching a lot of TV shows in National Geographic or Discovery Channel when I was a kid, and I remember being really afraid of being kidnapped by aliens.
Oh.
Yeah, not anymore. Okay, Valentina here says, Elena says, I don't know, but it is possible. So we always need a subject in English. It is possible. Great. Valentina says it's difficult to say, but I'd guess that other life forms exist on other planets. Stefania says number one, I'm not really sure, but I think that it could be maybe different
Mhm.
from Earth's kind of life forms. Yeah, yeah, true. Okay, so what do you imagine they look like? So, we're discussing number three. What do you imagine they or the aliens look like? If there were to be aliens, Michelle, just in case, what would they look like?
It's difficult to say, but I guess they wouldn't look like us.
Hmm, I agree with you. Okay, so no problem, Elena. It's our pleasure. Aria says, "I'm not very sure, but I guess that if they found us, they would be surely more advanced. But at this point, I don't know if I would like them to find us. Why not? Do you think they would, if they found us, do you think they would try to attack us or destroy us in some way? How do you imagine them to be?
Well, if they wanted to attack and destroy us, they
Mm-hmm.
probably could. And and if we start going into space and destroying space, the way
Mm-hmm.
we've destroyed the planet. In
Mm.
fact, there was an article that there's a lot of space junk already. So bits and pieces of old, disused satellites, space stations floating
Mm.
around, creating garbage in space. So
Oh
I don't
gosh.
think they would be happy about that.
Oh goodness. As if the planet was not enough for us to destroy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've started polluting. It's known as space debris or space junk,
Hmm.
space pollution.
Hmm.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Nice word that you're using, Michelle. I'm gonna write them down. Space debris. There is a silent S here. So it's basically garbage in space. Debris means like garbage.
Yeah,
Interesting.
pieces of
So,
garbage.
okay. So Aria here says, sorry. Elena says, no, I have never seen an alien. I believe you. Stefania says, I've seen too many Spielberg's films, so I guess that would be like E.T. Okay. All right.
I did love that
And
movie.
oh yeah, I have never seen that actually.
You
Was
should
it good?
try. Yeah, it's a feel good movie about a boy who finds a little alien and he's a baby alien and they become friends and then the baby alien goes back home. So it's a feel good
Oh,
movie. Yeah.
hmm. Definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah. And
Okay. Luckily.
the baby alien E.T. is almost as
Hmm.
cute as baby Yoda.
Oh, nice. Okay. And all right. So how do they walk and talk? Number four. So I think three and four are quite connected. What do they look like? How do they walk and talk in your imagination?
Yeah.
Also, hmm, we have more comments coming in. Antonella says difficult to say, but I guess they look like ET. Aria says I can't imagine them. There are many possibilities. Maybe they wouldn't be generated by our biology.
Hmm.
Perhaps they would have apparatuses. Apparatus. Could it be plural, Michelle? I think apparatus is already a plural.
Yep.
To see
I
and
think
feed them. But who can say? Well, who can say positioned like where? Hmm. Yeah, so maybe they have some apparatus to feed themselves. Maybe they have more advanced technology. Why? The
hmm
thing is, we'll never know, or maybe we'll know in the future. Who knows? Right. So, okay, we are actually kind of running out of time. We have 2 minutes left, so we're gonna probably do the other questions very quickly before we say goodbye. So, in your opinion, are aliens friendly if they exist? So again, try to use any of these expressions. So I haven't seen anybody use may, might, and could. So, for example, in my opinion, they could be friendly. They might
hmm
not be out to destroy the earth. Okay. What do you think, Michelle? Do you think they're friendly?
I hope for our sake that they are.
Okay. Yeah, I think we are the unfriendly ones, considering how much we have polluted the planet.
Right, we're not exactly the best, but we're
Yeah, we're
cute,
not the
so we
best
have that.
example.
But we're
Yeah,
cute as a species, so we have that
yeah,
going for us.
yes, absolutely. So I think we can like wrap up around this time. Just have a few
Absolutely.
seconds left. So it was lovely to see you guys again, and thank you for your participation.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you join us next time.
Thank you for joining us,
Uh,
guys. This was a lot of fun. We love it when you guys participate and comment. It makes the lessons so much better.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So bye. Have a good
Bye,
evening.
everyone.